Hello? You're never going to believe this. You're never going to believe this. Listen to me. Listen to me. You're never going to believe this. But I am live at this time of night. I have never, ever been live at this current time, ever. But we are today. Let's do it. I wonder who is even going to be on at this time, because no joke, I don't think that I have ever streamed, actually ever, at this time. But listen, sometimes you don't win the sleep scheduling battle, and therefore you start stream at 11 p.m. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do. Look, Algida, there's nothing I can do. I wasn't planning. Listen, it's not, you can't always plan for life. Sometimes you gotta make the best of a weird situation. Yes, I know. I have never before been live at this time. Yo, what's up, Cayman? I am excited. I didn't get to stream yesterday. Tomorrow, I have a gigantic day outside. So I'll be on late tomorrow too. Do I have alpha access? Unfortunately, Boars, I do not. I actually do not have alpha access. But you know what I do have is access to all of the notes that they made for every single class change, which is massive. Have you guys read all the notes? Have you read all the notes yet? Hey, Terrian, have you read all of them? Fuji, hello. Good morning or good evening to you. I guess I say good morning to everyone. Good 11 a.m. there. Amen. Ramen was up. I've been reading slowly. So here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to say. I actually, because normally when patch notes come out, I'm all over them. I'm attached to them like glue because I'm so excited and I play kind of every class, so I'm just like pumped. And I have not read all of them yet. Like, that's what I'm going to do today. Like, part of today is we're going to read through everything, and I want to give my thoughts on it. Like, I just haven't been... There's so many changes. I cannot believe that there are so many changes. Yeah. I'm playing with a calculator. Dude, Guardian Druid has some very potentially fun builds. I'm so excited for the Guardian. In particular, the Guardian Druid is the... Ooh. Yeah, we don't know the Apex talents. They haven't announced the Apex talents for everything. What's up, Beluso? I am on... This is a rare stream. I hope this is not, by the way, this better not be normal. Because it's 11 p.m. my time, and I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be up for, like, several hours. Like, I don't want to go to sleep. This is normally when I'd be, like, kind of finishing up work and stuff. Just having Ursa... Yeah, exactly. So, Guardian looks fun in midnight. Yes. Guardian is weirdly, I think Guardian and Blood DK, from what I had read, at least I read the tanks and the healers, Guardian and Blood DK are the only two that got favorable changes going into midnight. Like, they're better. Maybe Blood DK you can argue is a little worse, but Guardian playstyle, Guardian's just better. Like, everything about Guardian got buffed, except maybe the Thorns of Iron, which we don't know about. That's a weird one. But aside from that, basically, Guardian has access to better talents. We did not get a defensive pruning. Like, Rage of the Sleeper was taken out, but we got this really, really, really cool talent called Sundering Roar, which is better than Rage of the Sleeper. So, yep. Amazing, right? Amazing. I just want to heal a quick +2 Aura 16. Nope. I want to read some patch notes. I might just wait a second to get started with the patch notes, but I am very hyped about it. Drew the Colux, so we don't know what the Apex talents are going to be, but I have a few interesting thought processes about the potential of the Thrash option. For example, I don't know, do the Thrashes count, yes or no? Do they count the extra Thrashes from the Waking Nightmare talent, this or whatever, like for Guardian? I don't know if they count or they get buffed by any of the talents. Like, do they count as arcane? Do they not? Are they affected by this or whatever? But yeah, maybe they do Thorns of Iron, a stronger version as an Apex talent. What's up, Uno? Uno, look what time it is. I'm online. It's such a weird time. Also, this is super random, but you know how I started a TikTok like last month? You know how I randomly started a TikTok? I guess it's almost 2 months ago now. Bro, I filmed a random thing today about me drinking Thai tea in the sun, and, like, it kind of went viral. Right, like, it just out of nowhere. I just, like, opened TikTok, and I was like, what is this? Like, why this? Why this one in particular? I have no idea. Um, so the question is, look, this is gonna look kind of sad. What? What do you mean I haven't opened my vault? What is this? No, wait. What? What? Wait. What? I haven't opened my. What day is it today? Friday? Thursday? I was on Wednesday. Oh, because my druid got a really bad vault. That's right, because my because I didn't take because I was so sad. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Because I have a mythic because I got socket here. This is nothing. This kind of looks nice, right? Like, doesn't this look nice? You get like legs, chest, but no, unfortunately, it looks nice. But I already have mythic legs. I already got mythic chest, and I already have a mythic pacemaker fully upgraded. So there's no tertiary on this. There's no reason to take any of this. It's a socket angle, but the reason I didn't take it is because I already have everything socketed. So, like, what am I supposed to do with this? Take the delve belt? I mean, for transmog? It's not even for transmog. Yeah, it's a little sad. This vault was a little sad. My guardian has been getting a little shafted on vaults recently. I have, like, 2 extra tokens, or I guess 3,000 gold. I don't know what to do with them. Ayo, so okay, the class changes for midnight though. Listen, everyone a 17 priority. Ew. Listen, everyone is so dooming right now. Can y'all take? We gotta take a step back. I know that you're dooming, Ramen. You said you were dooming earlier. Listen, we don't know what they're going to do. All I can tell you is this: I am happy they're trying. Right? Isn't that kind of the best thing? Like the fact that they're trying, is that not good? Because imagine they didn't do anything. If they didn't do anything, then Midnight would just be it would just be the War Within Season 5. And then the second season of Midnight would be War Within Season 6. They have to do things. Hey, Beyblades, thank you for the sub. Ooh, you know what that means? I forgot. You know, we are, by the way, much closer to this. Look, in real life Thai stream is coming soon. This is, I forgot, I disabled this for the recordings. Yep. We are, by the way, it was 51 Beyblades. You are now 52 for the in real life food stream. Also, listen, I know primes are useless. I'll come back. No, Beyblades, you're fine. No, they're still. No, I'll count them. Every sub. I'll count every sub. It doesn't matter to me. Although you're right that weirdly enough, primes are a lot less, but it's not. I appreciate the sub. A prime is a prime. We take those. Yep, every sub counts toward that goal. Basically, I just kind of want to introduce you guys. Listen, we're going to talk midnight. We're going to talk class changes, but also, y'all know that I have a girlfriend now. I don't know if you know that. I kind of want to introduce her to stream. You guys all know who the fuck it is already. It's not like a surprising thing. Like, nobody should be surprised by this, all right? For what it's worth. Like, this should not be surprising news. Subscribed. Hey, what's up, Lynn? Wait, and Lynn. And Lynn. Hi, thank you for the sub. I'm trying to remember. Wait a second, and Lynn, I don't think I know you, but thank you for the sub. Your name, I was saying your name a bunch of times. I'm not going to lie. Hold up, I'm checking. Subscribe because I've been here for a while, so it was time to sub. Thank you. I saw your last message. I was like, who? Wait a second. I try to remember everybody's name, but the thing is that if I was in a competition with a goldfish for memory, the goldfish would win. Because I have a really bad memory, and it's terribly difficult for me to remember everybody's name, but I try my best. I'm lurking. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub, even though you are a lurker. I do appreciate it. All right, wait a second. No, that's 53. We got to keep... The counter goes up. All right, so basically, y'all know, like, I don't know if you've seen her in my chat, but Kitty is super cool. Yeah, so we are, how do I say this? Professionally and nicely. So we're knocking boots, and like with the fur, and then like the dance floor or something like that. And I would like to introduce her to stream. I was going to do so with the food stream. Like the in real life Thai stream is kind of like a way for me to be like, hey, guys, this is somebody who's going to be in my life because we're moving in together and we're getting a house together, so you're going to see them a lot. And this was kind of my way. It was like my idea was we would just go out to eat, and I would introduce her to stream. Like that's kind of what I was planning on. I thought it was a good plan, to be honest. I thought it was a good plan. Yeah. That was like the motivation, and then also we can just show you Thailand and I think it'd be really fun to just have like a hangout stream where we go outside and eat. I think that'd be really cool. Okay, should we start getting into these class notes? Good morning, Blood Bottler. Good morning, or evening. I'm sorry, evening. I gotta stop. I always say good morning, but it is a random time. It is 11 p.m. for me, by the way. This is true degen hours. My sleep schedule is so messed up right now. I do think that I will be on for quite some time. Yeah. And we start and stream off today with the hype train. Thank you. 6 p.m. for you? Isn't it weird? Have you ever seen me on at 6 p.m.? Cool beans, congratulations, thank you. I'm very excited about it. It is something that is definitely difficult for me, but, you know, is cool. Buddies cheered 1 bits. Thank you for the contribution to the hype train, buddies. Hey there, what's up, Tuller? Did my first plus 16 today. Congratulations. Almost noon here. Wait, okay, so wait. Noon here is 6 p.m. for me. Okay, Lynn, where are you from? Wait a second. 6 p.m. is basically, that's Europe timing. So, Rafal just cheered 100 bits. Thank you for the 100 bits. So, the hype train, okay, we're starting off today strong. Sweden. Oh, did you hear me tell you the only Swedish that I know from Lizzie's stream? Did you hear me say that before? I know a little bit of Swedish. You ever head to the States to visit the fam? I'm not a traveler. Good morning. Wait, sorry. Good afternoon, Atos. Not good morning. I gotta stop. I was saying good morning to everyone. Haha. Can't wait to do some 13s with you. 13s, I feel like we should do some 15s. What are you talking about? Rafal, thank you for the 100 bits. Wait, hold up. So wait, you're from Sweden, Anlin. This is what Lizzie taught me. Normally, they always teach you the very bad words in a language. Like, when you start learning a language, they're always going to teach you the very bad words, right? But actually, the very first thing I learned in Swedish was, what is it? Du harta ett guld. Yeah? You have a heart of gold. Isn't that nice? I was so shocked that the first thing I learned was a nice thing to say in another language. That never happens. Hey, good evening, knocking boots person. Hey, Woof, how's it going? Good evening, Woof. Or wait, no, sorry. Good morning to you. I gotta keep. No, wait. It's good evening for you. It's a new time zone for me to stream. Hold up. Good evening to you, Woof. There you go. Algida, it is morning for you, so good morning to you, Algida. Knocking boots. Yeah, I told everybody already. I literally was the first thing I said, Kitty. You weren't even here because I was excited, because I'm really excited. So it was literally the first. I couldn't wait. You know, I couldn't. It was the very first thing I said. I literally logged on a stream and I was like, yeah. Why didn't you wait? Because I was excited. No, because it's just exciting. Bait, have a nice stream. Oh, bye. I was like, wait, bait. Well, we're gonna read all. Basically, I'm just giving a second for people who want to come in because I want to read all the patch notes and we're gonna actually go through it. Can you redo it for me? Okay, hold up. Tarian or anybody who was here before Algida, how did I introduce Kitty? What were the words that I used to say? How did I say it? Kitty would like a reenact. She was not here to listen to the announcement that we are dating. I believe what I said. Now, I believe I had described it as we are knocking boots with the fur and there was a dance floor involved. I'm pretty sure that is how I explained it. Yep, that's what I did. Correct. Thank you, Beyblades. Yes. I've always been known for my romantic flair. Thank you very much. Better ask your goldfish. Thank you. Thank you, Kitty. Yes. You might as well just hand me a bunch of roses right now. All right, so here's the main thing. You know that Wowhead is currently banned still in Thailand? Did you know that Wowhead is banned in Thailand? It's actually really annoying, but I opened it before with the VPN on, and then I had to turn the VPN off. Thank you, Tarian. The major thing is, when that bar on the top left, you see that 53 out of 100? When that hits 100, I did not know that. Haha, woof. Nice job. So, yes, I have VPN just to access Wowhead so that I can read the news. But then the problem is, right, so I have it up here, and you can see it here, yeah? But I think I can, I just haven't, I can't refresh the page, because if I refresh the page, I won't be able to get it back. And the reason is simple, is because I can't turn on VPN while I have stream on. You know? Does Icy Veins does work, but as far as I know, they don't have all the class changes listed like this. No reason. You just actually cannot access Wowhead in Thailand. It's very annoying. Yeah. Yeah, it's just completely banned. Like, I have to have a VPN on to actually read the notes for stream. So let me make myself, like, a little bit smaller. I'm gonna read, I really actually want to take the time to read all of, like, that's what we're doing on stream today. Like, yeah, we could do keys tomorrow and stuff, but basically what we're doing here today is actually just, we're going to admire the fact that these are absolutely insane changes. In general, right now, hold up. Out of curiosity, in general, are you positive or negative about the changes? Ados, RFA, Beyblades, Woof. What do you guys think? We have all sorts of different people here and all different levels. I'm really curious to know, are you positive or negative at this point? Just from reading what you have read already. Bloodblotter, you're positive. You play Blood DK too. So what do you think about, you're a Blood DK. Linka, you're positive. Bear hype. If you play Bear, it's actually like Bear is such a weird. I agree with you, RFA. I think that's the main thing. I think it'll breathe life into the game. Like it says positive, not negative, Ados. I haven't looked a ton into it. Somewhat mixed leaning. Okay, the add-on things actually concern me more than the class changes. I think the class changes are a massive W, just my take in general, and I'll go over this throughout the stream today, but generally, very happy. I think there are a few classes maybe that like had some stuff, but I think that the add-ons are a little bit suspicious. From what people have been talking about in my Discord, at least, I am a bit concerned about how they're going to navigate, because I didn't fully understand, and I still don't fully understand what will or will we not have. In particular, I didn't even think about the fact that Cell is an add-on. Like, unit frames are an add-on. Like, Cell is an add-on, right? How do you heal if no Cell? Or Voodoo? Or Healbot? Or I actually thought about this for a second. I was like, wait a second. How am I... I mean, granted, every healer has less abilities to cast, so that's nice, but how do I... So I'm a little confused about whether or not we'll still have UIs that work. Or, yeah, like what I'm a little bit confused about what we will or will not have for add-ons. That's a whole different conversation. I'm actually, because if they mess that up, okay. So the thing is, they're not as global, and the weak auras, massive W, okay. Weak auras in general, massive W. Very big hype for the fact that weak auras will not exist. That is fine. But you kind of don't think about the other add-ons that are not weak auras, right? Like, I think the biggest one is Cell. I realized all of a sudden, I was like, if I could choose one add-on to keep, which ones would I not have? Like, what if you could only keep one of your add-ons right now, which one would you keep? For me, I would pick Cell. Like, I learned how to use it, and I'm now very used to using it, and I don't want to stop using Cell. Right? Massively powerful. So this is, I'm confused, Beyblade. So what you're describing right now is interesting to me, because you're saying that we're still going to have some potential, like, UI stuff that stays, but the combat stuff leaves. But then what? So DBM is not a UI thing, it's a combat thing, right? Fine, I'd read without it. But any other class, I don't have a clue. Hikili, fair enough. Well, they're going to have the one-button rotation, which is simpler now, you know? Plater is your biggest loss. I'm probably going to assume add-ons will only customize, but appearance of things is still pretty important. Like, appearance of frames is probably the thing I'm most concerned about, personally. Quasi has some conjecture on, I think it makes sense. I have my 4 CCs, this VDH is thin colored. Now I'll have 4 shit icons that are not as clean and easy to parse in my brain. I hate every change. If you're a VDH player, I kind of understand you being a little bit more doomer. So there are some classes that got hit a little harder without anything exciting, compared to other classes, right? So, as an example, Guardian Druid is hype. Blood DK, depending on your perspective, is kind of hype, in my opinion. Like Blood Bauder. What do you think about Blood DK? In general, like I read and I was like, solid. I would be excited to play Blood DK with these changes. But Prot Paladin is sad. Like Prot Paladin, I'm a little confused about what Prot Pally is going to look like. And Demon Hunter also is weird. The Fiery Brand is a good change. That's always been annoying. It's always been annoying to gather with Fiery Brand as an example and have it not affect the one target so it hits you a little extra hard. Like, because it takes a second to spread. So in some big AoE pulls, Fiery Brand that's a good change. The fact that it applies to you, that's a good one. I think that's the best change that VDH got. From what I was reading, I think that one was probably the most solid. Maybe it's interesting that Spirit Bomb is an actual button that could do... What was it? Oh, it's like a 20... I have to read it again. There's so many changes. I actually haven't committed them all to memory at this point. I can't. Look how many... There's you guys have read the changes, at least some of them. Like, this is the most... I think this is the biggest blue post I have ever seen in my entire life playing World of Warcraft. I mean, by far... This is one. We're still on one class. We haven't even gotten. This is Demon. This is one class, and this class was just reworked. This is insane. This is the most. I mean, WeakHorse Patrons really they're not releasing for midnight. I do feel kind of bad about that. Do you not? Don't you feel a little bit bad, potentially, about the fact that people are, like, out of a job? Like, imagine that you were the person who worked on... I hope that Blizzard hires them. I mean, I hope that Blizzard should hire them, though, right? Like, isn't that a thing they should do at this point? What's up, TH? Isn't it weird? I'm on... This is a super late-night stream for me. I have no idea. I was surprised, by the way. Good evening and good afternoon to everyone. It's cool to still see people here. I do like the idea, because moving forward with my life... So... Basically, yeah, I had some digestive distress and my sleep schedule's been all stuff. It was late night for me. I would love the ability to just kind of stream whenever. Like, I really like just the idea. There's a little bit of... One of the things that you have is this... I don't know if you've ever thought about this. It's like there's some pressure to, like, log on at the same time every day. Normally that works for me, but sometimes it doesn't. Like, today I went out. I had to do a favor for my brother. He wanted me to ship him some coffee. He's going to, so I had to do it, but it took way longer than I thought. And I was just like, oh, and then I was out and I was like, okay, I'll stop by the gym and I'll do this. And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Getting title will drop. Healful. Does that mean I'll get it? Because I've never relied. By the way, like I'm hyped about these changes because they'll be better for me. Like, it's kind of like imagine a good example is like, imagine Max reading these changes, like Liquid Max. If you don't know who Max is, imagine him reading this change versus maybe one of the raiders in Liquid. Because he has always said, he's like, this is what we've wanted. But I bet you some of the raiders are like, oh, now I'm going to have to work a lot harder. So maybe it's like a difference. I like that because I've always been willing to learn the game, study it. It's kind of my passion. So when PTR comes out, like when beta comes out, for example, I didn't get alpha this time around, but the next time around I will, and hopefully. When beta comes out, like I'll be testing all the dungeons. I love that. It's my favorite time to do things. So I love testing everything, which means that when the actual midnight comes out, like I'm going to have a competitive advantage because I will do all the testing. That being said, I will study it and I'll think about the routes and I'll think, but I've always been the sort of person who thinks on my own about these things. Yeah. We haven't actually started going through the notes yet. We're going to do that soon. But I like these changes. For me, would that be bad? Boris, because I've heard this argument. People are saying like the game is going to be a console game. I'm going to be real with you. Would that be bad? Like, because like I think people get so caught up in not thinking about what would be best for World of Warcraft. What would be best for World of Warcraft? If it was a console game, it would open up millions of players to play it, no? Wouldn't that be like a massive success for World of Warcraft? You don't have to. They have to make it like you don't have to play a console game. Like you should still, it should still have all the things that you can play on PC. But I mean, I wonder if I would ever play on console. I have an Xbox. I don't play the. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be kind of fun though? There are more players thinking of using like add-ons like Hikili. Do you think there are title players using Hikili? Maybe, maybe. Actually, yeah, maybe, maybe. And there's already an add-on to allow for controller use. Yeah, although controllers right now, I mean, there's no one who plays with a controller that does super competitive damage, right? There's a few people I remember who, Julie, was Survival Hunter, and she played with a controller, I think. But no one does competitive levels of damage with a controller at the moment. But it could. I've seen the glove-looking controller. Wait, what? The glove-looking controller. I don't know. Hey, how do I put this thing? I just realized that the window capture is, like, going to cover the goal for stream. I just realized the goal for stream is here. I got to figure out... Oh, I can do it like this. Boom. Easy. There you go. That's how I did it. Perfect. Like that. There you go. Top left. I see 0% the game will not get significantly easier. Okay. So... But, okay. If that's true, Ados, I've got 3K on Blood DK. That's pretty impressive, actually. Like, Blood DK. If you had said anything else, I would have been like, 3K that's reasonable. But Blood DK is actually on a controller? That feels like Blood DK is a lot of buttons. That's actually a big accomplishment. I think eventually WoW needed to change, right? Ados, bear with me here, because I understand, like, you're a VDH and you're a little dooming about the changes. I actually, like, fully 1,000%, although I'm very positive about it, I also have concerns, and I am understanding of anyone who's just like, because I made a few YouTube videos, and I've had a lot of people like, I'm really happy about this, and I've had a lot of people who are like, this is the worst thing they've ever done to World of Warcraft. I actually understand completely both points of view. But I do think, at the very least, we can all come together and agree on one thing. If they did nothing, WoW would not be in a good place a year from now. But I want you to think about this. Hey, Onos. Good afternoon, Onos. Good afternoon. I'm on late today. But I want you to think about this. If they did nothing, then Midnight would just be the war within Season 5. And I don't think that would be good for the game. The game has already been getting a little bit stale. They've tried to add this or add that, but they've kind of failed. They backed themselves into a corner where they added accidentally too much. But I like the fact that they're taking a swing because they should. Like, hasn't the participation, like the actual number of people... Exactly, but there will be no one new to WoW, and then it will die. Like, World of Warcraft it's not an immortal game. We think it is. Because, Ados, how long have you been playing World of Warcraft? Spanky, how long have you been playing World of Warcraft? Woof, how long have you been playing World of Warcraft? You see? I have had a relationship 18 years. Mine is, yeah, because when I was a kid... 2008, bro. That's like 2008 was like 18 years ago. Oh, that is weird to think about. Right. So, like, on and off, of course. But your relationship with the game goes back, like, people are answering 20 years. Yeah, but, like, that's my answer, too, because I had an older brother. I didn't know what I was doing. Right. I didn't know what I was doing, but WoW came out in 2004. And I'm pretty sure I started playing in end of 2004, early 2005 is when I first was introduced to World of Warcraft. Like, that's insane. So we are hopelessly addicted. Like, we are not the people that they, with respect, they don't really need to understand. They don't need to make the game for us. Right? No, I mean, so I had to take a break, too. When I moved to Thailand in particular, I didn't play for, like, 4.5 years, like 5 years. And then I got a computer who could play WoW, and I was like, oh, no, that was the beginning of the end for me. I mean, would I be a healthier person without WoW? I mean, maybe. You started in Dragonflight? RFA, that's actually weird. Like it's uncommon for somebody to have started in Dragonflight and you enjoy the game now and become chief in work. I found all the things about yeah. What brought you to the game, RFA? If you started in Dragonflight, like I'm married because of WoW. Did you meet your significant other because of WoW? Hey, I love those stories. Those are my favorite stories, man. I prefer, what I will tell you is this. I do not. I like being intellectually challenged. I do need the current retail system. Like, I love World of Warcraft, passionate about the game. I love Platinum WoW's videos. They have nothing to do with gameplay, but I love World of Warcraft. So, you know what I mean? I like WoW. I've been playing it for a long time. It's got a special place in my heart. But my brain today would not enjoy Classic. When Hardcore came out, I played it for about 2 weeks and then got bored. But I will tell you that in the 2 weeks I played it, there was a specific magic in the game that I could not explain. Something happened at some point. The magic of WoW is not here anymore. And this is the big, I need them, they got to take some swing, because the magic of WoW is not here anymore. Like, if you come to WoW right now, and this was your first week playing World of Warcraft, it's just a game. But it used to have something. Like, that's why it became so, I mean, it's World of Warcraft. And I don't know if they could ever get that back, because part of it was the fact that nothing else existed like it, and we were different people back then, and it was a different time. I get all that. So, you know, I stay strong, I wait, and then would you actually meet her in a random looking for group? I don't know that I would stay if they didn't change anything, or if they, like, I was thinking about the fact if they didn't change anything. That's actually crazy that you met your wife in a random LFG. That is actually so amazingly cool. That is a fantastic story. That's a really good story, man. Very good game. WoW players like to rant a lot. That's true. I mean, so gamers in general are different. Like, one of the things that used to be a lot more common, and this is something I found very interesting. I'll actually talk about this when we actually go through these notes as well. Dude, when was the last time you tried a new spec? Let me ask you a question first. When was the last time you tried a new specialization in World of Warcraft that you didn't know that much about? For me, there's not a lot of new things. I mean, I've played so much. I think maybe like Elemental Shaman, give or take. Like Elemental Shaman, kinda. Maybe like I think I played Rat Pally. I mean, Fury Warrior? Fury Warrior Fury Warrior for me. That one. Fury Warrior. Not is that developed. 2 weeks ago, Blood Bottler. When you tried a new spec 2 weeks ago, what was it? You've been playing some HPAL. Last time I played it was TB. Okay, so that's far enough away. My question for you is this. Did you read your talents, or did you go to murloc.io and copy paste? Did you read your talents or your stats? Or did you just copy paste from archon.gg? Holy/prop pally. Blood Bottler, do you know what your talents do? So this is the biggest thing. You do. Okay. You know, murloc.io, terrain. So there's basically what you right. But I did watch this video about it. Okay, that's good. There you go. I was full of boo-boo, bro. Listen. So the reason I bring this up is this. I actually think Murloc with a K, correct. So I think it used to be that only maybe the top 5 to 10% of people, I think that maybe the top 5 to 10% of WoW players back in the day would actually go and copy-paste builds from people, because it was not widely accessible. All these resources have existed for a long time. Like, you can go to logs have existed for a while, like WoW had existed, but like I genuinely think it was like a small portion of the player base, this is like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, would actually just literally like copy paste stuff and like watch VODs and watch runs. Like it wasn't as common to do this before. And now today, I think it's like a lot of people. I think people do that for a plus two. I copy talents from Wowhead, but then I study afterwards to see why I was picked. Beyblades. When you did your first plus two as a Guardian Druid, did you copy the talents from Wowhead? Right? And watch YouTube. So I know that you're like into watching content. I don't think everybody's into watching content. I think that most people know about like Murloc.io and stuff like this. How you respect, but you would cook. It didn't matter because the truth is, almost there was a better spec in Classic, but the truth is, it kind of didn't matter whether you were doing like 100, DPS on the thing or like 150 or 50 because people would still play with you and you could still clear the content. Like what mattered is if you were weird. Like how you talk to people mattered back in the day. It's different now. But I do think that one of the problems with WoW is just that people don't think for themselves anymore. I've noticed this since I started making YouTube videos, is like I would have a cook. I remember on the Prop Pally one, I told people to play Sanctuary, and everyone was like, no one is ever, you don't play Sanctuary, but like Yoda said this and people said that, and I was like, but you're not them. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're not that good at Prop Pally, so please just play Sanctuary. And they were like, but it's you want 3% haste. I was like, 3% haste is not going to save you when you're consistently just running out of your Consecrate. Like, you should play... Sanctuary is the talent for Prop Pally, where when you drop Consecrate and then you leave your Consecrate, it stays for 4 seconds. And obviously in Midnight, I read the changes for Prop Pally. Oh, we're not going to need to do that. But it did exist before. And so, like, in Season 1, there was a lot of Prop Pallies just dying. Like, if you remember Grim Batol, which is a big concern, by the way. And something I am actually worried about is the potential of a new... That Midnight Season 1 is going to look like the War Within Season 1, where you just have Grim Batol. Because tanks don't have the required resources, and healers are supposed to heal them, but they don't really have cooldowns anymore. And so you just have a tank that just, like, walks in and goes... Bloop, 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 and Floorpov. I am a little worried about that. I think that could happen, but we'll see what they do with dungeon design, because one of the things I'm worried about, and this is just an overall concept for tanks, I'll have to talk about it I think I should get into these notes. I got to start reading these notes, actually. We're going to have a whole conversation to read through these notes. It's going to take me a long time to actually get through this. I haven't read them like line for line yet. I actually want to do that. Yeah. But basically, a cook I had was this about tanks. It was like this. So, you know how they removed a lot of defenses from tanks? So, tanks, in general, every single tank now has almost the same defensive. This is a very interesting thing that they did. So, Prop Pally, right? Yeah, careful. Prop Pally, Prop Warrior, and Guardian Druid basically now have all the same defenses. Isn't that super weird? That is effectively what just happened. They have, on a 3-minute cooldown, a big DR that's a 40 to 60% DR that lasts for 6 to 8 seconds, and it does not have CDR. So you have Guardian of Ancient Kings, you have Shield Wall, and you have Survival Instincts. All of them have 2 charges, and all of them have no CDR, and all of them are like, Rafal redeems first. People were sleeping Rafal. Man. And you are the top cheer. Thank you for the bits earlier. It's very cool when people support stream. A lot of active DRs are just passive procs now. I like how you're getting all the rewards here. So, but the active DRs are just passive procs. So aside from that, my thinking is this. In a dungeon, okay, so when they design the dungeons for Midnight, or what's the one called? Okay, Algathar Academy is coming back. Yeah? Algathar Academy is coming back. Veximus has a tank buster that really hurts and will one-shot you. The bird, technically, you remember Croth, the bleed on Croth? So this is an example of the bleed can be healed, because if your healer is just healing you, then you won't get one-tap by Croth, the bleed. But Veximus had a pretty nasty tank buster on a 25-second cooldown? 30? I don't remember exactly Algathar. But Veximus had a tank. That, as keys get higher, you would get one tapped. But no matter what tank you were playing, like, you had to plan your defensives for it. But are they going to change how that works? Because they're going to have to, right? Like, if tanks don't have defensives for all of that, then they're going to have to maybe just delay. So maybe tank busters happen once a minute. But if tank busters only happen once a minute, then how are they challenge tanks? And my fear is they go back to the War Within Season 1 mentality, where for some reason, White Swings just absolutely clap tanks. Because instead of designing tank busters, which are supposed to mitigate, they actually design it so that melees just go boom, like they just hit way too hard. Because that was Grim Batol. Grim Batol, as an example, had all these. So this is the problem. How do they challenge tanks? And if they do that, I think we're in for a rough. That'll be rough. They have other ways to do that, though. Yeah. So that's what they said they were going to do, RFA. That was the intention behind the War Within Season 1, and then they missed completely. Because rather than healers be responsible for tanks, healers could do nothing for tanks. You remember? Like, if your tank was bad, the first pull of Grim Batol would just... Like, what are you going to do as a healer? So, I am a little worried about how they're going to manage that. The other thing I'm worried about is some of the tanks are going to get real similar. So, I don't know how tanking will look. But overall, I'm optimistic because I think I'm kind of stupid. And if I know that, then Blizzard has to know that too. And I would like to just trust that Blizzard doesn't want... If Blizzard is going to make all these changes, they want more tanks and more healers, not less. Okay? So I think that they're going to be productive. I'd like to be an optimist and say they wouldn't let that happen. Yeah? Like, I would like to just be an optimist and be like, they're not going to do all this work and then have it where the season just happens, where, like, tanks just fall over and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. I don't think they'll do that. I don't think so. All right, shall we get into some of these changes? They're hefty changes, man. Before we do this, I should link the Discord, because we are actually... I want to have discussions. Like, I want people's opinion in the Discord. Although I might have to make some channels because it's going to get... Oh, yeah, Wowhead just made the thing, by the way. Weak Auras has announced they're not expecting to release a Weak Auras version. Oh, man, that's insane. Here, let me pin this, right? Discord's there. And we'll get into reading some of these notes here. I'm going to hear a lot of healers will stop. Okay, that depends heavily on unit frames. They just... Can they keep sell? But I agree. I like, personally, that tanks should not be dependent on your healer at all. In general, the way that I play tank is my healer... They should not have to direct heal me a single time in the dungeon. That's my preference. Personally speaking, that's how I like to do things. Not everyone agrees with that, but I get almost upset when my healer externals me. I'm like, no faith? No trust? What is this? All right, let me go. Hold up. Let me just do the stream things real fast. Midnight conversations here. Please speak on Harney or Bearform on your unfiltered thoughts. I'll get all of them because it's the first expansion that I'll actually start that has all the Bearforms I can get. I don't actually personally love the Harnier forms, I think. I think they're interesting and they're diverse, but it's kind of like the owl bear. It doesn't feel like bear. Like, that's the problem. You know what I mean? That's my issue with it. It doesn't feel like bear. It feels kind of like a new creature. Like the owl bear as well kind of felt like, you know what I mean? I feel like they've lost a little bit of the identity with that, if that makes sense. Okay. Are you doing all the classes? Yup, Tabby. I will be doing all the classes in a second. Let me just pin this here as well. And, we'll go through it. Okay, so Zandalari was a dino too. They're just going weird with it. Yo, how many Blood DKs do I actually have? How many DK players are currently listening to this? Blood Bottler, you're here, right? How many other DK players are currently listening to this? You have a date? Good luck, Onos. Oh, Onos, I officially announced the stream that I am also dating somebody, and that is why we're doing the in real life stream. Hey, Mythic. Okay, great. I would love your thoughts on the Frost DK stuff. I used to be one in season 1. Does that count? Kind of. I'm more curious about the Blood DK. I actually feel like, so Unholy was, I read the first few changes. I've read these before, but I'll read them again. And Unholy got the big thing. Yeah, Onos. Yeah. There she is. I've seen her without clothes on. Oh, wait, that was weird, out of context. Sorry. That's, Kitty is the, oh boy. Why can't I do things normally? Okay. Take a step back. Kitty is the person that I'm dating, so when she appears in chat, I'm probably going to say weird things. That is all. Yes. That's me. Don't worry, I'm like this in real life. I'm meeting her parents tomorrow, so bye whatever deity is out there, please help me. Yeah, because I'm meeting her parents tomorrow. That's why I'm going to be late to stream tomorrow, is because I'm having lunch with her parents. I'm a little I'm not like that nervous because I'm kind of confident, but they're a little more old school than me. What if I'm just myself? Which I will be, because I don't really like filtering even in that sense, but I will say, is it not a little bit concerning, potentially? Do you trust me? Let me ask you this. Yeah. Well, maybe this is a power play. So actually, somebody in my Discord made a really good stuff. She can't smack my head while we're at the table, though. Do I play video games? Yeah. I mean, luckily I can say things like, "Oh, don't worry, like I'm medically trained and all this." Like I can say some better stuff than that, but yeah. You plan to move in before? Yes. Well, okay, I know I met her mom before. I haven't met her dad. Her dad doesn't live here, so he's not here very often. Like this is the first chance I'll get to actually meet him. I just felt like cuz like am I going to do the thing, Billy, where you tell me. I think I tend to be like a nice guy, but I think that I should kind of hello, like firm handshake, like the type of hand, like you gotta, he's gonna try to break my hand, I'm gonna try to break his hand, and then we're gonna get a beer, and then we're gonna like sit on the couch and watch sports, and we're not gonna say anything to each other, but I'm just gonna sit on my legs are gonna be spread like this, and then I'm gonna be like, so that's my plan. I'm a very masculine guy. Super. That's me. Sometimes I worry I'm a little chauvinistic, I'll tell stream my mom's reaction. What's aware and definitely did not do the things he spoke. Oh, why can't I do the things I speak of? What's wrong with the things? Oh, nice to meet you, sir. I play a guardian druid. Self-awareness is good. I mean, well, what does that make us? I guess brothers. Yeah, maybe that's how I should start, Ados. I should just walk up to him and I'll be like, "What's up, bro?" That's probably a good way to do things. Yup. And he'll be like, "What do you mean, bro?" He's like, "We're not that close yet." I'll be like, "But she calls both of us daddy, so that makes us brothers, biologically speaking." You think that'll go well? I don't think that'll go well. No. I'm sure it'll be fine. We're just, well, I wasn't planning on it. Now Ados has given me some inspiration. Now, this is probably, I shouldn't talk about this with Stream. Stream's going to give me, biblically. Right. Biblically, of course. Yes. He might actually, no, it'll be fine. I'm great with the parents. Parents tend to like me a lot. But also, I'm a little more... Well, I don't know. Stream has given me a lot of social confidence, and I'm not sure I should take the social confidence I've gotten from having streamed this last year to this particular lunch tomorrow. You know? Hi Spaghetti, how's it going? Oh Spaghetti, I haven't seen you in a bit because I don't stream on Kick anymore. Hey Spaghetti, how's it going? Good observation. Spaghetti. He's just a dude type. That's what I'm saying. He's a dude type dude. I'm also a dude type. I'm also a dude type dude. Sup? Yeah. You think I should open? What does he think about necrophilia? Um, he likes. Yeah, no, I got it. It's okay. It's okay. I'll be better. I'll be better. Don't worry. I'm getting it all out now, so it doesn't happen tomorrow. I never thought to ask him. Well, this is we can learn about him together, Kitty. I'll ask him. Don't worry. I don't have shame. I'll ask him. No problem. I've been visiting your grandparents. Ask him what he thinks is the midnight. Hey, Para. Hey, Para. Good evening, Para. I'm on late today. I'm on so late today. What happened to Kick? Oh, I got banned there. I talked about it, and if you want, I don't want to get into all like the drama stuff here, but basically, if you're interested, did you see the post from the WeakOr team? Yes. Sorry. Hold up. I just got you. Sorry, y'all. 1 second. I have to permit links if you're not subbed. There you go. Go ahead, Sariel. You can post it again. Yeah, I missed it. Okay, yeah, I did see this. Yep. It all just came out. This is a great time to talk about it. You're welcome. So listen, in the Discord, if you're curious about what happened, I posted in the social media section of Discord. Just go to the social media, and I talked about all the Kick stuff. It literally, I sent like the exact emails and stuff because I just didn't want to get into it too much consistently. There's not enough drama to quit. There was a lot of tea. So TH, maybe you're a special case, and the screenshots that I was linked were pretty. They were quite damning. I'm not gonna lie, but I will not get into it. What we will get into is the changes for Midnight because Soriel, you are correct. That concerns me a lot more than all of this. Actually, class changes, I am very positive about. I am very positive about all the class changes. I am not sure about how I feel about the add-on changes. That is, I think there could be a bit of a dilemma with all of the add-on stuff that's going to happen. But this is great. I mean, every single class got an actual blue post here. These are, in general, correct. I haven't read all of them, though, because there's so much that, and I've been busy. I haven't actually been on. So I'm curious. I want to actually read through them now, and we'll go for it. All right, but if you've played the class I'm reading about, please weigh in. I feel like I haven't been as much of an altaholic the last few seasons, so I am not, for example, my DK, I'm not really up to date. I played Blood on PTR, but I didn't actually gear my Blood this season, so I haven't played my DK at all. Therefore, I also haven't played Frost or Unholy, but I have a good take on Unholy because I read the stuff with Unholy. All right, so basically, let's get into it. I've been on this Blood section for a while. Here, okay. Oh, no, never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke. Whew, cash in myself. I guess it's not that late. It's late, but it's not that late. Okay. Basically, developers note going into Midnight, we had a few pain points with Blood DK that we're looking to address. On initial poll. Yo, hold up, wait, right before I start this, because I'm going to get into this. There is a lot here. How many hours? I need to know beforehand. Let's say I make this a YouTube. There's no way I make this a whole YouTube video, right? You know me. Listen. You should know based on my last PTR how the last thing went. Look at me. How long should this be? Help me out here. How many hours? 3 hours probably. You know I'll do it too. Just be you because I'll do that. Like the thing is, you gotta understand. Like, I will do that. So, you know. And he says, make posts. Feb or March Midnight will be out. Yeah, we don't. I guess did they announce the actual thing? Probably 7. Yeah, if Max took 2, then I'll take double that. All right, 4 it is. They didn't announce the exact day that Midnight will be released, right? Do a 1-hour rant for each one? Kitty. If I did that, I literally would still be doing this 13 hours. I would borderline still be on stream doing this when I'm supposed to meet your parents tomorrow. So I don't think that is a good idea. With respect, I feel like I shouldn't do that. I feel like it should be less than that. No, okay, basically, though, we don't need to actually... some stuff, being telling on the 23rd of this month. Awesome. For Halloween. A 2-hour rant it is. All right, give or take. I'll set like a little timer and I'll just try to keep myself on pace. That seems reasonable. And I'm assuming that if I post this to YouTube, maybe I'll just post like each class and stuff to help with the last few of them. Yeah, you know what I'll do? Instead of meeting him in public, which is always weird, I'll just invite him over to my place and then try to remember to put away the stuff in the living room. And then he can help me on stream. I think he'd like that. That's a good way to introduce myself to your parents. You gotta stop giving me wrong things to do because I'll take some of them seriously. You never know with me. I'm highly suggestible. You keep telling me what not to say, I'll probably say some of it. Okay. I have mixed thoughts about some of the stuff here, but actually DK I'm super positive about. Okay. Let's begin properly. Blood DK, developer's notes. Going into midnight, we had a few pain points of blood DK that we're looking to address. On initial pull, blood has an incredibly long ramp-up time to both get their defenses rolling, but also their offensive power. This is the biggest thing. This is actually the reason that I really like this blue post. It's actually, yeah, all of this is cool too, but this is not talked about enough. Blood DK currently does damage, but in order for them to do damage effectively, they have to int their aggro. And this has not really been talked about here, by the way, but threat is a big issue that I really hope, as I read more about the tanks, I really hope they address threat. Because one of the things about Blood DK, and I did read through this a little bit already, is they gave them a talent like the Venthyr Mist ability. That will help a lot with threat. But Blood DK, the reason that it struggles with threat is not because its abilities have poor threat. Actually, Blood Boil is pretty decent for threat. It's because you're trying so hard when you go into a pull to actually set up every single resource so that you can min-max your damage. That's the reason that Blood DK has such a long setup. It's not defensively, it's offensively. So I kind of hope that with the simplification of tanks, that changes. That's a big thing I want them to change. Also with like Brewmaster and stuff. All right, the main culprit is due to how we turn Bone Shield into a damage throughput. Exactly. Because of the Extinct Shattering Bone and Insatiable Blade. But not just this, it's also more than that. Going into midnight, we've removed Shattering Bone, redistributed his power into Blood's baseline damage abilities. Solid. Topic of Bone Shield, we've also reduced the number of abilities that deduct from it, such as Tombstone and Bone Storm. The thing about this is, how do you get Dancing Rune Weapon back? This is one thing that I was thinking about. It's like, okay, but the whole reason that these abilities are good, like this shield is okay, but that's not why you play it. You play it because it's always been a consistent source of CDR for Dancing Rune Weapon. As a tank, you have a lot of things to consider in your role. Adding what was essentially a third resource to spend, I don't think that's a problem. I think it's how it was spent and like in the ramp-up time. Three resources is actually okay. Again, as sports design in the future, we'll need to be more cautious and deliberate with these abilities designed to ensure it's not encroaching, that's an insect, on already existing resource systems of Death Knights. Blood is making them more reliable and high-end Mythic Plus keys. That's a strong one, and I did read this, and I hope that this actually gets applied to them, but there's also a big problem. So if Blood DK, if this is an actual note that they're being legit about here, the fact that they want it to be more reliable and high-end Mythic Plus keys, Blood DK might just be the best tank immediately. They have to be very careful with a tank like Blood DK because of how self-sufficient it is. If they make this tank like the tankiest tank, you're in trouble. Like, I know it doesn't have a group buff, but oh man, it's a little scary for Blood DK to be super powerful in keys. Like, part of the reason you don't see them in keys is because it is a little bit hard to live on them. They are a little bit more RNG. They're not super consistent, which is what you need for high keys. If it is, and tanking is, let's say, at all difficult next season, then Blood DK maybe they deserve it. I mean, it's been a second. It's been a second since Blood DK was meta, so maybe they deserve it. I think these are good changes either way. Okay. Goal is to make their damage intake a little bit more predictable at higher keys and prevent them from falling over before they can start to get their other defensives rolling. It's offensive, not defensive. We love that Blood has carved a niche for itself as a self-sufficient tank. We don't want that to change. We look forward to hearing your feedback. Okay. Let's actually read some of the Apex towns. This is all Dancing Rune weapon stuff, and the main thing I have to say about this is, can they stop making tanking RNG? I don't like it. No tank likes this, right? The only thing is, what is this? Do you know how... This is a very powerful thing for Blood DK. And especially they're adding more power into Dancing Rune weapon, too. What is... When you consume a rune, you have a chance to call a Dancing Rune weapon to your aid for 6 seconds. So many of these class changes that I had read already, and I haven't read all of them. I haven't read most of them. But so many of the ones I skipped to, they're trying to take out 6-second burst windows because they don't want the complexity of that. I don't actually know why this is the Apex talent here. I don't know what, like, if there are any Blood DKs listening to this right now. I know you're here, Blood, and maybe Mua or Mythic if you've played Blood DK. I know you're a DPS DK. Like, you're 3,500. If you've ever experimented with Blood, it's a little weird for, especially Blood DK, which is already trying to be more consistent, for them to have this RNG proc. Because this is, you don't die when this is here, and you might if it's not here and if it falls off. I don't know. I don't like RNG defensives. No one liked the Season 2 tank tier sets, for example. This is amazing. This feels great. Death Strike hitting multiple enemies. Oh, just feels really good, because whenever you have to press this rotationally, but if it's in mass AoE, it kind of felt bad when it just hits a single target. Death Strike hits hard, man. Death Strike hits hard. So, I wonder... Mua, you're like a 3,800 DK. You've never tried Blood? Are you telling me that you're actually just... You've been playing DK for so long, and you're a high-rated DK, and you're telling me you've never actually just tried Blood for like a 15? Really? I probably think Rune Weapon is fine because it doesn't give a lot of DR. It mostly gives parry. But the parry is already RNG, and it gives a fun damage window. This would be kind of like giving... I'm trying to think. This would be kind of like giving Paladin a 6-second win. This would be kind of like giving Prop Pally a RNG 6-second wings, which on the surface kind of sounds like fun. It's like, oh, that feels really good. Like I guess it feels fun to play. But then there's a really strong min-max of like, hey, in that 6-second window, I need to fit in as many globals as possible, right? I need to fit in as many globals as possible. Mr. Spaghetti with the sub. Thank you, Spaghetti. Also, that increases the goal. In real life tie stream coming soon. Coming soon. 54. 54. Getting closer and closer to that. All right. Let's keep reading. I think that with Blood, like, a lot of these are great. I'm not complaining about this. I think Blood DK was definitely one of the winners of these patch notes. Like, absolutely. There are 2 tanks that basically won these patch notes. Blood DK is by far one of them. And the other one is Guardian Druid. The rest of the tanks, I'm not so sure about. But... like, this is a great talent, for example. When you cast Dancing Rune Weapon, you come into Blood Mist. Amazing. But what is the cooldown of Dancing Rune Weapon now? And also, does this happen when this procs? Like, I don't know. I have some questions. I'll have to test it. Rune Power. The most craps on the sea. In a way, yeah. They're the bottom 2 tanks right now. If they are the top 2 tanks next season, I would not complain. I mean, I like these tanks. Personally, I wouldn't complain. This is the thing. I don't know if it should be tied to Dancing Rune Weapon, but I like the fact that you have a basically pulsing AoE damage aura. This is threat. The way I read abilities like this, when I read abilities like this, I don't think how much damage it's going to... I just think threat. It's Rushing Jade Wind or whatever on a pretty reliable... Hey, this pulses every second within 10 yards. It's as you walk through things, you have aggro. I think that this is pretty solid. They should give every tank something like this, you know? Heartstrike has a chance to make your next Blood Boil empowered. Yes. Critical hits have a chance to reduce a little bit of crit value for Blood DK. That's fine. I don't think they have a lot of crit interactions currently, so it's always kind of nice to give them a little bit of extra value on a stat like this. So, Metri, this is a healer thing. Metri, we'll talk about Guardian Druid in a second. Let me actually read through these notes, because otherwise I'm going to be here forever. You tell it Sanguinary Burst. When Blood Mist ends, it deals shadow damage to a nearby, healing you for... This is just like, this is kind of like Red Thirst. It's like the vampiric. It's like Umbilicus Eternus. That's the one where basically it's like this is you're already really powerful in the Blood Mist window, but this gives you a little bit of hey right after this ends. Great, nice little burst here. I don't know. This is actually very interesting to me. Blood DK got some complexity added to it. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, you got Abominum back. You didn't know that? Yep, Abominum back. Abominum's back now. But also, this is a other interesting talent here. Blood DK basically, right now, they don't always play Gorfine's Grasp and Silence because it's a 2 talent point investment, and you're actually you're dropping other good talent points for this. If they make this more accessible in the tree, and it's 1 talent, that's pretty interesting. And you have to choose between Abominum and this. This is a strong. It'd be 130. Right? It'd be like a 130 cooldown. This is the same as Warrior. It'll be like Warrior Taunt, except it's a mass grip. You never know. Sometimes mass grips are really like... Think about Halls of Atonement this season, where Warrior shouts great, but imagine it was also a grip. Whoa, that'd be really good. That'd be really solid. Curious, but I will say that there's an interesting feedback loop. So there's a 6-second window where you have to min-max your globals to play Blood DK properly, and then... Every time you press Rune Weapon, you're going to get the mist. And then every time the mist ends, you're going to actually get a percentage of the mist based on how much runic power you spend. So again, you're going to be trying to min-max that window. Blood DK is going to be kind of a constant min-maxy tank to play it at like the highest level. 90 seconds because your Kudis was completely removed to answer the question. Okay, so 90 seconds on Dancing Rune Weapon. So the uptime is a lot less. But unless this proc is, we don't know what the proc is of this. But I mean, 90 seconds, it was currently basically right now in AoE. I mean, that ability is it's like a 30 or 40 second cooldown. Yeah, it's up a lot more. So it'll be up a lot less, actually. Yeah, here it is. Generates 5 bone shield charges, okay. No longer grants extra runic power because you're going to be using the blood mist and stuff. Now in a power. I was curious about this. Kind of interested. Gorfine's Grasp. So Everlasting Bond, okay. No increase to Death Strike. So they're trying to take, this is the power out of Death Strike and more into the baseline stuff. That makes sense. Base armor by 35%. Carnage no longer effects. Okay. I like the fact, by the way, I never liked Blood Tap, and I never liked some of these abilities, so I'm kind of cool with this. That's all good. I think Blood DK, though, good changes. I am kind of curious. So you still have, let's go over, after every tank change, let's go over what they still have as defensives. You still have AMS. You still have IBF. You do not have Lichborn anymore, right? Didn't they take Lichborn out for all DKs? Maybe you have Lichborn. And then you have baseline. You have IBF, AMS, Dancing Rune Weapon, and you'll have Vampiric. And Red Thirst is still in the game? Yeah. I don't think they took out the CDR on Blood, did they? No, they did not. Okay, so Blood DK is going to have the ability to constantly rotate cooldowns is what I was thinking. The one thing I wanted to read about the tanks was whether or not they were actually going to have... Every single tank was going to have the ability to consistently rotate a defensive or not. All right, Frost. So basically, they've already reiterated on Frost, and I'm kind of curious to know... Is this good or bad? I don't play Frost, but Frost didn't really get any changes as far as I can see here. They just got their Apex talents announced. How do you feel if you're a Frost DK? Mua, you're a high-rated Frost DK. How do you feel about this? This is fine, right? Like, isn't Frost DK currently in a great spot? Gameplay-wise, are you upset with Frost DK right now? That's not really the tooltip. So, the one thing about the Empower... This is a weird time to see you streaming. Oh, yeah, this is a super weird time. I never stream this late. I just happened, my sleep schedule is all messed up, and I've been really wanting to read all this. Yeah, Frost DK is solid, so the fact that they didn't mess it up is excellent. Feels good? Great. Unholy. Okay, here's where we get interesting. This is where we get interesting, okay? Unholy. Developers' notes. This is, first of all, this is a lot of notes, okay? But this is also one of the random things. I am a gameplay-oriented player. I don't play for lore reasons or even visuals. I don't even play with game volume on, so I don't even know what abilities sound like. But I read this, and my first thought was, I want to play Unholy DK. This is amazing. I want to play a DPS that summons a necromancy army. That is awesome. Isn't that so cool? Like, why? This is actually one of the first times that I have ever agreed that class fantasy matters. Because I have no idea currently how powerful this is going to be. But automatically, it's got to be one of the coolest melee DPS in the game. Like this. Like, literally within, like, this paragraph alone is got to be one of the coolest melee DPS now. Like, what is going to compete with this? A Ret Pally? Like, yeah, you got hammers and light. This guy's got he's got an undead army. That's so cool. This is awesome. Okay, so basically, there are two things that Unholy is getting. They're going to have two different builds. One of them is the debuff build. I actually don't like that much. I don't think that sounds too appealing to me. It's just like, stack up your diseases, make sure that you get them nuanced properly, because there's going to be some talents that affect it, and make sure you consume them properly, etc., etc., etc. That doesn't sound so cool. But the actual summoning of the army stuff sounds amazing. So I think that is super cool. I think that's, like, super amazingly cool, okay? New type of summon called the Lesser Ghoul, placing at the heart of Unholy's baseline rotation. Festering Strike now grants a buff that empowers your next couple of score strikes summon a Lesser Ghoul. So you're just basically constantly doing this. You're summoning Lesser Ghouls and a bunch of things. That's so cool. Like I said, I don't even know how powerful this is, but I don't really care, because if I was going to play a melee DPS, I would probably choose this based purely off of class fantasy, and I do think that matters. For what it's worth, I actually do think that matters. And it's interesting to me that it does. I didn't know that until I read something as cool as that. Okay. To be honest, DK is one of the only things I don't currently play. But I am curious about this because it's interesting. All right. A lot of stuff here. What did they get removed? So Apocalypse is gone. Bursting Swords is gone. This is good. And Defile is gone. This is probably a massive W, because how many times have you died because you couldn't see what was happening underneath your Defile? A lot. Every time you do Floodgate, the last boss of Floodgate, and you play with an Unholy DK, and they go, sorry, couldn't see the line, Defile. This is like I'm pretty sure everybody has experienced this. So, for what it's worth, I feel like that's pretty solid. Okay, let's move on to Demon Hunter. This gets a little interesting. There's something degenerate about this that I read earlier. What two tanks? Blood DK and Guardian Druid. In my opinion, Sean, Blood DK and Guardian Druid are the two winners of the patch notes. All right? Yeah, Blood and Guardian are currently the two winners. But let's talk about Demon Hunter, because Okay. Before I give my thoughts on it, let me just read it. Let me just get through reading it, all right? Vengeance Demon Hunter did not win these patch notes. But what I can tell you is this. VDH did not win the patch notes, okay? Here we go. Okay. I'm going to skip Havoc for now. I know, Havoc is cool, blah, 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 blah. We're going to go straight to Vengeance, because this is where it gets interesting. I read some of this, and I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? Okay. So what they're talking about is the fact that Vengeance had defensive gaps that made it susceptible to difficult to understand deaths. I want to read this entire note to you, because this is kind of interesting, okay? All right. It relied heavily on effects that were conditional or ramped up over time, and it skewed too heavily toward effects that were predictive in nature and required advanced knowledge of encounters to use effectively. This is probably, in my opinion, the most concerning line out of any tank change that I have read in the entirety of these notes. I am not so happy with that wording. I don't like it, because that is what tanking is. And they shouldn't remove the identity of tanking. I am all for making tanks simpler so they're more accessible. I think that's great. Fantastic W. Every single tank, if they just remove some of the buttons, they made it simple. I'm super good with that. Excuse me choking on air. It happens sometimes. I'm very... wait, air. Oh, whew, the world. Okay, I'm so okay with them making tanks simpler, but I am not okay with them removing the identity of tanking. Because, yes, skewed too heavily toward effects that were predictive in nature and required advanced knowledge of. That's not homework. That's how tanking works. So what people don't understand is this: you watch the high keys be done, and you're like, wow, these tanks very rarely die. Okay, that's true, but they rarely die because they already have. Because they died already. Because they played PTR and you walk into the first pull of Halls of Atonement and you die. And you learn. That's how you're supposed to tank. Like, that is. But to be fair, like, that's. You gotta learn the dungeon. Like, I don't actually like that. Like, if you could walk into an encounter that you've never done before and tank successfully, I don't think that tanking will be very good. I think you're supposed to have to learn. So imagine you walk into these new dungeons and they require no predictive anything and also no advanced knowledge of encounters. I don't think that's good. Okay? I think that is concerning, and I hope that that is not a philosophy that they actually have moving forward. Okay, Midnight Vengeance defensive kit has been significantly streamlined by increasing baseline defenses, by making demon spikes easier to maintain at a high rate. It was already 100%. But it's kind of already 100%, no? Like, demon spikes right now on my VDH is near 100% uptime. Replacing complex ramp-up effects with similar versions that reward core rotational gameplay. I don't actually understand this, because ramp-up effects for VDH, you don't actually have to think about them that much. Like, you basically just... You live the gather, and then you do the rotation, and you baseline just have frailty applied. Like, you have all your soul crush currently. You just have frailty, though. Like, yeah. You demon spikes is already 100%. I actually don't agree with this. I think that in a +5, VDH definitely has a problem. In a +10, the things I have seen will shock you and psychologically scar you for life, because I have seen things, okay? Where are these notes from? This is the Wowhead article. I had to open it with a VPN because Wowhead is currently banned in Thailand. You can't open Wowhead in Thailand. As funny as it sounds. So you have to open it with a VPN. Therefore, I can't refresh it because then I turned VPN off to actually stream today. Okay. I don't agree with these VDH changes. Out of curiosity. I actually think that this is a weird... The Paladin changes are whatever, but this is weird. Okay. New talent, physical down, blah, blah, blah. This one, by the way, is hilarious, because if this is a min-max, then what might happen if VDH was somehow the meta tank again? Imagine shadow melding for this, you know? My dog, my nickname is... Yes, Sonterix, I did. Right before I started stream, I went and checked the Discord. I did. And I think that you're absolutely right with your cook, because what Blizzard and what people in general in WoW, they love to do this. So they say they're going to do something, everybody gets mad about it, and then they go, let's give in to this. And then they give something back so that players feel happy. I like that. That's actually true. They do that a lot. Okay. So there's so many notes. Guys, I'm not following the 2-hour time frame here very well. I posted a quick video on the Guardian. Yeah, I'll go over it again soon. Guardian is coming after this, basically. Soon after this, Guardian is there. Okay. This is weird, because they took out Demonic, didn't they? So one of the weird things is if they take out Demonic, and I'm very curious about this, on what a dong is, I'm pretty sure I just went with it, Kitty. I'm not going to lie, I just went with it. I didn't really understand what the dong was either, to be honest. Help me understand if they took out Demonic. Where is the change that actually took out Demonic? So when you fell Dev, you no longer get Demon Form. Is that something that is actually true, or did somebody tell me that and is wrong? Sigil of Flame, Soul Clight. Where is that? Somebody told me this, and I don't actually see that change here. That's what I was concerned about. That. Can anyone Ados, do you know if that's a real thing? I'm gonna do 1. 7 is too many. Yeah. I will probably. I think that in Midnight I'll be a chronic Altaholic. If they make it a little bit more friendly, I'm gonna play everything. I do not see the VDH change that I was worried about. Make Reaver more viable and maybe break Scarred. Well, Eldrachi is already the play, but the thing is... Okay. Let me explain this. Okay? Here. I'm in game right now. I'm going to go on to my VDH. I'm going to log into my VDH and I want to show you something. Something that people were telling me on YouTube. Yeah, it's the old name. I never changed it because I never mained this character, so I never actually paid for the name change. Something that concerns me a little bit with these tank changes. You do need some form of tank skill expression. And that expression is no longer going to come from a rotation, except for Blood Decay and maybe some intricacies with stuff, but there's going to be less of a skill ceiling rotationally. That's okay, because you can express skill as a tank with many other metrics, like how you gather, how you understand the dungeon, how you pull, and how you help your team, etc. The one thing I'm concerned about is if you can't track offensive cooldowns with Omni cooldown, how do I know when to pull or not? Because I won't be able to tell whether we have 2 minutes up or not. But the other big thing is gathering. If they took out threat and they made tanks the way they are currently making tanks, we would have a problem. Because a bad VDH goes into a pack with leap and then gets owned before they have any resources up. What's up, G-Dub? Good morning. A very rare thing I get to say to you on stream. Listen, a bad VDH walks in like this and then dies. Because this is not how you gather as a VDH. But this is a skill thing. If I'm playing my VDH, you'll say, huh, Awu is pretty good at this. Because I know that I can cancel Aura the Hunts, charge over here, go tag this with Reaver's Glaive, get my spikes up, bring it all in here. I've got my parry up, I've got this, I've got that, boom, done. And I know how to gather. So that when they all actually come toward me, I've got my resources up and I'm in the pack now. This is part of tank skill expression. Sanehearth subscribed. Yo, thank you for the sub, dude. 3 months of learning tank from the master. Thanks, Sane. I appreciate the compliment, right? And, yes, if you didn't know that, yeah, so that's how you're supposed to do it because the hunt still applies if you do that. Also, that's 55, Kitty. I hope you're hungry. 55 out of 100 now. Every sub goes toward the in real life Thai stream coming soon. Whew, that'll be fun. How do you feel that so we don't know, because like the one thing is when they say weakers are going to be dead, what is this? If I hit this, is there something that will show me my demon spikes uptime? Like there's something that will still show me this, right? Like okay, for example, I will hit I'll get enough fury for a second. If I hit this here, with respect, if I do this, that's going to show me this, right? No, but something in the base UI is going to show. They've got to show me something. You need to know as a tank whether you have, like, how long does your meta have? I know that weak auras aren't, but there's got to be, they're going to do something, though. Like, how am I supposed to, like, I need to know if I have Iron for up. Okay, as a bear, you'll always have one, but you know what I mean? Buffs have to be available. No, like, buffs have to be available. Like, it's going to be maybe not look as nice or something, but you got to be able to see something. Like, just the fact that you have demon spikes. Like, I'm not going to be looking up to the right here, right? Like, that's fine. As long, you got to have this. This is not optional as a tank, actually. But basically, yes. So if I was going to gather this, let's say I needed to gather all of these mobs as a demon hunter, then I know this mob is far enough away where if I just regular glaive it, I'm not going to lose threat. So I'm going to be glaving this. I'm going to be Immo Aura myself. I'm going to go over here, hunt cancel, which I messed up because I'm a bad demon hunter, and then I would reverse glaive, get hit in the back a bunch, meta, have my healer external me because I just messed up my hunt cancel, and that's why I'm not a very good demon hunter. But to be fair, a good demon hunter would take no damage on that gather because they would have gathered it perfectly. Also, Johnson, Clark Freeman, thank you for the sub as well. Hello there. I hope you're enjoying this random This is a super late stream for me. But does that make sense? So the skill expression, wait, that's 56 now. All right, we're getting there. So wait, see, here's the thing though. That's skill expression as a tank. What I just showed you is the ability to understand I am playing a demon hunter, not a bear. If they actually took that out, then every tank would literally be the same. Like, there has to be, like, so a monk skill expression is knowing that what I can do is I can get into this pack over here. I can roll one or maybe even save my roll so that I can get close enough to keg smash and then roll backwards because that's a thing you can do as a monk. But I can't do that on my demon hunter because if I get close enough on my demon hunter and do this and start getting meleeed and then turn around and try to leap over here, I'm going to die. That's a bad demon hunter, but it might be a good monk. If I'm on my druid, knowing that I can actually walk through thrash, but also still not take as many melees, this is tank skill expression. So that still has to be there. And if they actually change tanking, that's one thing I'm concerned about. I'm going to keep a very close eye on. That's dungeon design, how packs are got. Like if all the packs are linear, think about like the Rookery. Absolutely terrible dungeon to tank. Just because where's the variety? It's literally a W dungeon. The Rookery, Theater of Pain, Workshop. I like the fact that in Priory I have expression to say, I'm going to pull this over here now because I've got my aggro buttons up or whatever. So that's something I'm a little worried about. Does that make sense? So once again, if I was going to play my Demon Hunter, I would make sure that I hit spikes A before I even walk into this pull. And then I would go over here. And again, I messed up my cancel aura, probably because I don't have exit lag on right now. My ping is like 500 or whatever it is. And then I would go over here or whatever. That make sense? Ignore what I just did. Don't play Demon Hunter like that. Great. So that is something I want to keep an eye on. When the actual dungeons come out, I would like to test this very much, if that makes sense. Okay, back to the blue post. Great. The only thing I will say here is I haven't seen how does Demon Hunter play? So if they take out calcified spikes, so there's no calcified spikes, there's no painbringer, so there's no stacking in the pack itself. Like you don't have anything anymore. And they took out illuminated sigils too, right? So then you don't even have parry chance when your Sigil of Flame is active. This is a great change. This was the only good change for VDH. But again, I'm just a little confused. How are you supposed to play as a VDH with these changes? Does that make sense? Like, I'm not sure if you guys are VDH players, but basically, the way that this reads is like this. Let me go back into the game one more time and explain this, because I think this is actually kind of important. VDH is one of the only tanks, just like this and Prot Pally. I'm now a little bit confused. If you take out basically Soul Crush and Painbringer and Calcified Spikes, then effectively what you're doing is you have meta, and then you have Fiery Brand, and that's it. Like, actually, you would literally just have meta and Fiery Brand. Like, the Hunt was also taken out, wasn't it? But, Ados, can you confirm or deny that Demonic will exist? Will at least Feldev still give you meta? For some reason, I thought that was taken out. I read somewhere, somebody was talking about the fact that Demonic was taken out. Like, the actual talent that gives you... Isn't there... Yeah, Demonic... So, they did take out Demonic. So, Feldev... It's not even... Is it... I was about to say, is it even a talent? Or it's just baked into it, isn't it? I don't even know if it's a talent. I can't... You've always had it, so I just don't even know... It's in the Havoc tree. Where is Demonic? I don't even know where it is. As hilarious as it sounds, I've never thought about it. Oh, yeah, it's here. Yeah, it's right there. I've never even thought about this town because you always have it. Oh, okay. It was in the class right there. Because obviously you're never going to imagine, like, imagine this build where you just don't play it. Somebody somewhere did this in a key. At some point this happened on accident. Okay, so VDH basically, if Feldev is no longer a defensive, it will slightly be with the Ruinous Bulwark if you play that, but it's kind of weak. Basically, okay. So the idea here is this. I literally have Fiery Brand and Meta. That's it. Because Demon Spikes is 100% uptime. The fact that I can maintain my sigils for the parry chance doesn't matter anymore. And as long as I hit a single Soul Cleave, then I'll be maintaining my Painbringer and my Soul Crush. So, yes, but there's no defensive value from it, so it's just off. But literally then, Demon Hunter, you actually have 2 buttons for defensives. Sorry if off topic. No, you're fine, Moon. I also just love saying your name at any point. You can come into my chat at any point because Moon Doggy is just such a good name. I'll say Moon Doggy at any point. You know, I'd like to take my girlfriend for some Moon Doggy. I thought Perry was VDH niche. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, ignore my gear. This guy's not geared at all in live. But like, so it won't be anymore. Actually, Perry will be DK thing. I'm just, there's basically an identity crisis with VDH. The only thing that, this is one of the only tanks where I'm just like, what do you do? Like, you'll still have your leaps, so you could still leap, I guess. Like, leap will be this will be the only difference, because you actually just, go boom, and then boom, I guess, and this is what it will play like. And then when meta runs out, you're just whatever. Like, you still have Immo or, but like none of these defenses matter. So you're just basically min-maxing offensive, and then you would just Fiery Brand now, and then what? Like, but then what? Like, what do you do for the next tank buster? Because you can't, right? Man, Blood DK, if you have any questions about it. So the Blood DK things are all positive, but the question is like, so right now, what do I do? Like, I have no buttons to press. Like, I have nothing, because I've already done the meta, and I've already done the Fiery Brands, and I no longer have any option. Like, do you still get 8% magic DR? I bet not. Like, what do you do as a Demon Hunter with those changes? Like, that's something I'm actually curious about. You know what I mean? A sort of cooldown. Now, it has, like, 5 seconds extended duration as well, I read. You know what I mean? Hey, Solid. Hey, sorry, I missed that for a second. Hey, Solid, how's it going? Yo, I am doing well. It's just my sleep schedule got absolutely messed up. Fox ears for a minute. Bet. How are you, Solid? Have you been playing this season? I feel like I haven't seen you on in a while. Resto Shaman is actually so good this season right now. Yeah, my sleep. I'm just on super late. It's like midnight for me right now. Woo. I am doing well, actually. Life started, as you know, this year was tough for me at the start, but now I have a girlfriend, which I can officially announce to stream, and that's very cool. When that sub goal in the top left, when that gets to the number, I will introduce her to stream. We'll basically go out and we'll eat our way through Thailand, and I'll do like an in real life Thai stream, and you'll get to meet her, because we'll be moving in together soon, and I figure she'll be on stream, but I'd like to introduce her in a fun way. Also, is it raining in game? Is that why it's storming? I never see this. Is this what's happening right now? Is this storming in game? I'll literally never see this. Interesting. Okay, so there's my cook on VDH. I am confused about it, but that is something I was thinking about this, though. Oh, sleep rhythm. Do you have winter, summertime down there? No. Thailand we have seasons, kind of, but you know what I mean? It's going to have an absolute insane burst. So that's what I'm curious about. Yeah. So Temp, when I was reading about Blood DK, at least they actually added a fair bit of complexity to Blood DK. You know what I mean? Like, actually, it was kind of interesting because I was like, there's going to be a lot of min-maxing with these burst windows, with a few different things. All right, we're finally on to Druid. Okay. Druid changes. Exciting. Druid changes. Druid time. Let's go. Very first thing, Mark of the Wild is 100% more effective on yourself. Cool, I guess. I don't really know what else to say about that. No, this is actually the cool thing. So when we talk about druid changes, I actually think this is super interesting because as a guardian druid, you might use this. And I mean this. I don't know if you've thought about this at all because you were probably reading the actual guardian druid changes, which are fantastic and very cool. That's what we were all focusing on. This is very interesting because they added a talent called persistence in the guardian druid tree, which technically allows you to swap out of bear form because they took it out of DOTC and they put it in the actual guardian druid tree, and it is a choice node effectively with another utility piece. So you could take it. Like, there's no reason you couldn't take it if you wanted it. The reason that you would take it is because you might shift. Hear me out. We don't know what the cooldown is going to be on this. Like, is it still 5 minutes? Probably not. What if it's like a 3-minute cooldown and you actually just SI, shift out of bear form, and just go boop? Kind of cool. I'm actually 100% for that, especially because yes, there's going to be a min-max of damage, sure, but what I was reading is actually the empowered wild growth. This is what I was reading, and I'm kind of hyped about it because I've always liked the idea that as a tank, I can off-heal. There could be a way to say like, oh, hey, heavy burst damage is happening. I don't need my SI. Just hit SI, hit Heart of the Wild, and then go out of bear form a few times. And then just basically spam wild form on your Gruth. Like, why not? Like, you could do that, technically. I think that's super interesting. I'm going to experiment with this a lot for sure. Forest Walk now has 2 ranks, increase your movement speed and healing received by 8 to 16%. You know, that's actually really nice because currently it does not increase your healing received by 16%. That's a lot. And also remember, Forest Walk gets triggered by reinvigoration. This is actually decent. Like, this is in the class tree, this is 8% more healing. And it's also applicable for Feral, Boomy, and Resto, which is kind of nice. Matted for absorption, 140% of nothing is still nothing, so that doesn't matter. And doubling it again is still nothing, so this means nothing. Skull Bash is no longer available for Resto Druids. All I have to say about this is get owned Resto Druids. Why? This was the most, by the way, this was the most random stray in all the notes thus far. What is this note? This is just, they don't even clarify why they did this. They actually just, they're just like, bye. Like, why? What was the point of this? Wait, they just gave it back? Did they? Did they actually give it back? No way. Did they complain enough they gave it back? Because actually, like, they were going to be the second healer. So the thing about Skull Bash is I bet you the reason they did this is because there were some Resto Druids who were struggling to use it and maybe even getting flamed for not interrupting, but it does shift you into cat form, which does interrupt your healing, and a lot of Resto Druids, especially at like lower to mid keys, don't do damage even if they're playing a build. Even if they're playing a Wild Stalker build, they don't want to cat weave at all, right? So now I'm curious if that's why they took this out, actually. Just remove kicks from all healers. I'm kind of okay with that because healer kicks are so... They're problematic because Priest doesn't have one, Prez Evoker has one on a 40-second cooldown, and Resto Shaman has one on a 12-second cooldown. It's kind of OP to be a Resto Shaman. And it's not well balanced. Maybe they could homogenize. Remember part of the reason... Well, okay. I don't want to take... Look, listen. I don't want to take any more from Resto Shamans. They have struggled enough. Listen, I'm not out here trying to take any more from Resto Shamans. We'll get to those notes in a little bit. No one is trying to... You can't... They're just sitting there on their knees with their hands up, and they're just like, you can't take any more. Yeah. Okay, Innervate is not capstone, that's fine. Nature's Vigil removed, that's fine. It didn't really do much. It actually did damage for Resto. I think that's probably the biggest thing here. You didn't really play it as Guardian this season. Okay, the reason this is because they moved this talent to the actual Guardian tree, so don't worry about that. Lunar Calling's been updated. Yeah, this is fine. Keeper of the Grove. So this is all for Resto, basically. Like, this is not... I don't know if Balance will still play this or not. They're always playing Elun's Chosen mostly. So the Resto stuff is interesting because the apex talent for Resto is unbelievably strong. Like, unbelievably strong. When I read that, I was kind of shooketh. This is all fine. There's nothing really. They're just, like, adjusting some values, basically. But, alright, here we go. Balance Druid. Now, when we're getting into the Druid changes, this is where it gets interesting. Have you guys read the Balance Druid changes yet? The design of how you enter and maintain Eclipse is changing in Midnight. We'd like to introduce more gameplay to it. Okay? Eclipse before midnight is so important that you immediately drop everything to refresh it when it ends. Correct, because that's what being a balanced druid is. There's no timing or strategy to it. Incorrect. And it can be a struggle during phases with high movement. Incorrect. Like, you just, well, yes, but you plan for that. In Midnight, Lunar Eclipse and Solar Eclipse are an active ability that instantly enters Eclipse for 15 seconds, has a 30-second cooldown, and can be talented to have 2 charges. This is a super polarizing thing. I actually don't agree with these notes. I have played Balance, and I don't agree with this. Because the Balance is not hard to play, okay? Especially when they start removing a lot of the modifiers, which I do need to check if they actually remove some of the things that I'm thinking they would. For example, like, if they're going to remove Star-Lord and other things. But I'm kind of curious because this is the entire point of Balance. Like, a good Balance Druid min-maxes their Eclipse time, and a bad Balance Druid does not min-max their... Like, it's not rotational. Like, guys, Balance Druid, you put a few dots out, and you click Starfall. Like, it's not even a thing. Like, with respect... Like, there's not a lot of buttons for a Balance Druid. Like, there's a lot of min-maxy stuff you can do as a Balanced Druid, but currently speaking, it's one of the easier range specs. Again, I'm not talking about the highest level, just bear with me. If you log over to a Balanced Druid right now, I could explain it to you in about 60 seconds. It's not that complicated. The biggest thing is, you have a button, or a weak aura, that in the middle of your screen just says, hey, Eclipse is ending in 2 seconds. And you say, okay, so I'm going to get my last button off. And then you say, Eclipse is ending in 1 second. You say, okay, let me start casting Wrath. So you cast the Wrath, Eclipse ends, you cast another Wrath, and you're back into Eclipse. That's it. Like, that is the bread and butter of how you play Boomy right now. I don't think that is complicated, and I think that that's okay. I do think that what they could do if they want to simplify Boomy is not the Eclipse. I think they could remove a lot of the modifiers for... The Mastery rework is interesting. I think the Mastery things, let's keep reading here. This one is, I'm more okay with this because I think that a lot of new players do struggle with this, but fair enough. Okay. All right. The goal for Balance is to prepare for each Eclipse and choose the perfect moment to activate it. Fair enough. Depending on talents and the pacing of a fight or a dungeon, you might have an Eclipse of 60 to 80% off time. I think it should be higher than that. You want to spend your time in Eclipse spending astral power and dealing damage, yes, and your time out of Eclipse building resources or refreshing dots to prepare for your next Eclipse. To be fair, that part of this I kind of do like, and it is kind of interesting that you could hold your Eclipse for a little longer, but one of the things about your dots is that they do a lot of damage, so you want to be in Eclipse while your dots are doing damage, which is kind of interesting. Balance's Mastery has been changed so Sunfire and Moonfire no longer increase damage targets take, and Waning Twilight has been removed. Interesting. It does definitely allow Balance to start dealing damage faster. Moonfire Sun will be tuned to keep them as strong, efficient So hold up. Wait a second. If Waning Twilight was removed and Moonfire no longer is any impact on your Mastery whatsoever, why would you press it? They said they'll adjust the damage of it, but are you positive that you're still going to be pressing Moonfire? Like, that's the whole reason. Like, there's a little bit of astral power generation from it, but you'd probably generate more astral power from a Starfire. Activating an Eclipse, there's got to be a bunch of... I mean, they have to have made it really good on the dots. Okay, good. That's important, actually. I'm a, I'm okay with specs getting simpler, but they still have to feel like the spec. I read the Unholy DK changes earlier, and I was like, I want to play Unholy. I don't even know if it's going to be powerful. I just want to summon armies of undead. Like, that sounds amazing. That sounds super fun. I read this, and I'm like, okay, but I'm still going to be a balanced druid, right? Like, that's the important thing, is you got to maintain some sort of class fantasy and still be like, I'm a boom chicken and do boom chicken things, all right? Meso Starfire Generation 2. Okay. As long as they're addressing some of those things. Let's keep reading. Activating Starfire. The next 3 Star Surges are Starfalls cast during Eclipse. Fair enough. Critical Strikes during Eclipse. This is just Astral Smolder. And then activating Eclipse. But again, this doesn't really matter as much anymore because you don't have Waning Twilight. So you still might be a haste. Well, actually, no. If Mastery has changed, maybe you're not haste Mastery. Maybe you're haste crit. Maybe the stats change a little bit. That could be interesting. Activating an Eclipse also launches solar or lunar bolts at nearby enemies. That's pretty cool. And they always critical strike, so you always get this. But you don't have Astral Smolder, so it doesn't matter whether you have a 3rd dot or not. Okay, Starfall is dealing 100% faster. Interesting. Does it mean you have to press it more often? I guess it doesn't really matter because stacking. Okay, cool. Lunar Eclipse. Yeah. Get both benefits. Cool. Meteorites. I want to read this immediately because it sounds cool. Each time Starfall deals damage, a meteorite falls on a target in its range, dealing astral damage. That does sound actually pretty cool. See, weak auras aren't playing. Yes, that is actually a big deal. Let me finish these boomy changes, and I'll tell you my thoughts on the weak auras because I do have some strong thoughts about it. Okay, what's the mastery actually do? Your nature spells deal X more, and your arcane just deal X more. Okay, fair enough. Boring mastery, but okay. And then Eclipse has been redesigned. Yep. Umbrella Intensity. So they're going to basically make it so that dots matter a lot more. 50%. Okay. 50%'s a lot. Okay. I think it would be very funny, and they definitely have to tune it. Imagine if Boomy just straight up didn't Moonfire. I think that could be problematic, to say the least. All right, moving on to Feral in a second. Oh, Feral had big changes. Feral had... Ooh. This was... I remember reading this now. This is a... Ooh. I mean, I don't think there's any Feral players here right now, but if there are, feel free to speak up. Yes, so weak auras aren't planning... Let's take a little bridge weak aura session. Weak auras are not making a return. That is massive, especially because, as I was mentioning earlier, and I was showing some gameplay, what do we have access to? Because, Jerry... What do we or do we not have access to is the biggest question. I want to know, do I still have my unit frames? Can I still use Cell? Keep in mind that one of the things to understand is this. Here, look, let me show you this. I'll take a second and just show you it. If I log in and I log over to a healer right now, okay? Here, I'll choose an easy one. Let's choose one that has been gutted. This healer was gutted. Here. Not my Demon Hunter, my Shaman. Let's log over to my Shaman, okay? So, Cell allows me to directly cast a spell by clicking on a unit frame. Blizzard UI does not have this, as far as I know. Actually, no, we haven't gone over Resto Druid. Oh, yeah, no, I haven't read all the Resto Druid things. I just talked about Skull Bash RFA. But here's my question. This is a big deal for healing. This is just a big deal in general for the weak aura conversation. How do I heal? Because I healed with base UI before, but I didn't have this set up. RFA, do you know? Is there a world? Can you do this? Like, what is there? You know what I mean? Hey, Raven. Out of curiosity. So right now, if I left click on this frame, I cast Riptide. If I right click, I cast Chain Heal. If I shift left click, I cast Healing Surge. And if I alt right click, I cast Healing Wave. So I know my keybinds. Resto Shaman doesn't have a lot. Right? And I know my Dispel is alt left, my Earth Shield is shift right, etc. This is Cell. The reason that Cell is so impactful is not just because it shows you the frames or shows you the debuffs, but also because you can technically directly click. Not click like each spell, but you have, like, this is how you heal. So I'm not talking about, the HOTS tracking is completely irrelevant. All I'm wondering is the way I heal, do I have to click on somebody's name, right? Like, do I have to click on my shaman and then hit the button? As in, because, like, keep in mind, I don't have Riptide. Riptide's here for me to track it. But I don't have Healing Surge bound because I don't need to. I just click Healing Surge here. Yes. So that's a big, like, but that's how you heal. Click casting should work. Click that allows it without cell. Okay. Nothing is visible, even other skins, even things like loot counts are not working with instances. Right. So we don't know how to test this. No, Blizzard already has. So, but how do they? I've never even set that up. Is it easy to set up? Mono Day says that it's just we don't know how to test that yet. But I'm very curious about that. But you gotta have a way. People are not sure. You gotta have this is core to healing. I'm okay if they remove a lot of stuff, but you can't. You literally can't heal because the other thing. Keep in mind, I'd have to get rid of. I mean, I guess I'm not gonna have cloud bursts and all these buttons anyways. To be fair, I'm not gonna have half these buttons on my Resto Shaman anyways. But for what it's worth, I don't bind my heal spells because I don't need to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to bind them. I mean, my Prez is a big example of this, but also my Prez will have half its buttons removed too, so I guess I won't need to worry about it at that point. That is something I'm worried. I'm wondering about the cell, though. I am very curious about that, about whether or not that will stay, as an example. Okay. I couldn't imagine doing, like, I mean, Resto Shaman's Resil 16, almost, basically. I couldn't imagine trying to play a healer without that, you know. That's an important thing. All right. Yo, Feral Druid got gutted. You guys understand? Nobody here has played Feral, right? Has anybody? There's actually like, listen. Has anyone here played Feral? Because you would have no real way of understanding how absolutely a gutted Feral Druid is. This is I don't think this. I think that most of the changes to these specs have been largely positive, except this one and a few others. VDH was the first one. VDH was the first one that was like, hey guys, I think they messed up here, and this is the second one. Because what is Feral? Like, this is the identity of Feral, and they just removed it. Like, snapshotting is the entire point of Feral. That is literally the entire point. And then they also are going to take out not just the snapshotting part of it, but blood talons too. So my question is, aside from looking like a cat, what is going to be the difference between a Feral Druid and a Ret Pally? Like, what is going to be the difference between a Ret Pally, a Feral Druid, and a Fury Warrior? Aside from the fact that they look different. This is interesting at the very least. Yeah, one has Mark of the Wild, one has Battle Shout, and one has whatever. So, okay. This is interesting, by the way, because they specifically removed this exact interaction from Outlaw. This season, Outlaw with Killing Spree had such a problem because they kept dying to the blink. Because every time they would use it, they would blink behind their target and they would die. Second boss of Floodgate, this of that. Every time there was a swirl, you would see it happen all the time. And so if they're actually going to flicker to a nearby enemy, rest in peace, Feral Druids. They're not used to that. So, because this happens a lot, by the way, with the Apex talents. This happens a lot. So imagine that you're just constantly darting around as a Feral Druid. On one hand, it's kind of cool. On the other hand, good luck with mechanics. So I'm actually, what does flicker mean? Does flicker mean you're just going to hit them or you're going to blink to them? Because I actually think that could be a really big problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that could be a real issue. Just so we're clear. I'm actually concerned about this. Aside from this, you can read all the numbers. Numbers don't matter because they're going to change a lot of that by the time they actually get there. Like, this is cool. Like, the fact that, again, you're just going to flicker to mass AoE, just bite everybody. I guess that's like a Feral fantasy. But I'm not so sure if Feral will play well. You're just going to be a melee cat. The only problem with them simplifying things too much, and again, I don't mind it, I think it's good for the game, is you got to make sure that when I play a Feral Druid, I still feel like I'm playing a Feral Druid. This is a big thing. All right. Guardian changes. Alrighty then. All these are amazing. These are so good, man. These are so good. Delicious. You ready? Okay. So, first of all, what they're saying here actually is a little bit concerning potentially. The all this stuff here. I do actually think Guardian Drew's rage economy is very oversaturated, particularly during cooldowns and in multi-target contexts, resulting in excessive APM and unintuitive resource management. They are literally talking about Thorns of Iron and nothing else. It's not actually excessive APM. Like, to be honest, Guardian Druid APM is not that different than like any other tank, but Thorns of Iron makes it seem like it's way higher because I think the Guardian Druid APM actions per minute is like 200 right now, whereas a Warrior is something like 140. I need to check those numbers exactly, but it's quite a bit high. That's just because you mouse wheel Iron Fur or macro it. You're not actually pressing the button. If you are still pressing Iron Fur as a Guardian Druid right now, you have missed all of my videos and /or every single conversation about that spec because you should not be manually pressing Iron Fur. If you are doing that, you should change it right now for the rest of the season. Now, here's the interesting thing. Thorns of Iron is removed. So we are probably not doing that next season. Like when Midnight comes out, that'll be gone. You won't macro Iron Fur unless one of the Apex talents is Thorns of Iron for Elun's Chosen, and we don't know that yet. The real issue, by the way, with this is Raze isn't a part of the talent tree that's bottom left. You still might not play it because they also took out TNC, and they also took out, so TNC is Tooth and Claw, which buffs Raze, and they also took out Vicious Cycle. They took out a lot of modifiers for Raze, and the fact that it actually applies a DR. I'm really curious to see what this will look like. What are we spending our rage on? Because maybe you still just play the Iron Fur anyways. I already made a video about this, so this one, like, I don't need to go over it again. But it's very interesting. So that part I don't know about, but the rest of the changes here, amazing. Great changes to Guardian. Cannot complain at all. This is going to be super cool to play around. This is going to be potentially very cool to play around, especially because it actually summons the Ursoc form. Looks amazing. This is the only thing that suggests that maybe Maul is going to be a rage spender. We don't really know else. All right, I already made a video about the rest here, though, so let's go ahead and rest in peace, Thorns of Iron. All right, Resto Druid. Ooh, let me stand up and bear back. I guess that's a little weird, you know? It's a little strange that I just realized it's like 1 a.m. for me. I need a little snacky. Oof. Oh, I'm checking my TikTok. That video got like 5,000 views. So weird. That's 2 p.m., so it's going to be pretty decent. So the question is, does it move with you? Does it get affected by all of the modifiers for Thrash? Because right now in the Guardian Druid Discord, people are saying it does not. That's very interesting. So, for example, if it doesn't deal arcane damage and it's a base Thrash and it also doesn't contribute to Rend and Tear, it might not be good. That's a good question. Like, for example, what if the Thrash doesn't contribute to your Thrash stacks on the target? Like, what if it's just a base Thrash? Then it's worthless. So we don't know, and maybe it's just bugged. But somebody was reporting that this talent was not actually contributing toward Thrash, which means that you don't get the extra DR or damage gain from Rend and Tear, plus the fact, yeah, it's supposed to be, you'd think, and then plus the fact that it doesn't contribute to Sundering Roar. But either way, it looks cool. So looking cool is like half the battle. I don't think I'm getting through all these changes tonight. I swear, actually, I got way too distracted, as I always do. If it doesn't, then it's Dollwater, correct. So that'll be interesting to see. Restoration Druid. Let me go get a snack real quick. I'm not getting through all these changes tonight. We're going to have to go through the rest tomorrow. I got through like 4 classes. It's already been 2 hours. glass of milk. Okay. So, there are those macros. We're talking about the mouse over stuff. I want Bear to have double the health of the rest of the tanks to balance out with low damage. I don't think it'll have low damage. I think that Bear, like I said, weirdly, Bear, he's in a really good spot. Pudge, I don't know if you saw the YouTube video I made on it, but Bear is very exciting changes for Bear. Like, Bear is in a really good spot right now. Okay, so here's what I'm realizing. I am a little tired. I don't know how much longer I will stream for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow a little bit late than usual. I'm not leaving right now, but I want to go over some specific things. There's one in particular I want to talk about, because if we're really going to be talking about this, there is two big things. One is VDH, and one is Prot Pally. In terms of all the tanks, those are the only two I'm really concerned about. I think everything else will be fine. I think Blood DK got a lot of good changes. But the Prot Pally and the VDH are concerning to me. So let me go over Prot Pally right now. We're going to have to skip a bit. Also, what is up with Prez? Oh my god, I'm not going to scroll through all this. Prez got such a weird change as well. Some of the fundamental buttons of specs, like, I understand why people are so concerned. I am generally, though, very positive about almost everything. There are some things that concern me, but overall, I'm very positive to clarify, okay? I think that's important to know, is that in general, massively positive. Here we go. We have to scroll all. There's so many. Look at how many changes there are. Look how many changes there are. Are we going to go to Prot Pally? I want to talk about Prot Pally because there's just an interesting thing that's going to happen with this. Okay, Paladin, Templar, class, etc., etc. Prot Pally. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me drink my milk. And this actually will be the YouTube video for this, though. Can I send the link for this? Alpha Omegas. Wait a second, Alpha, are you my Cambodian friend? Can I send the link for this? Yeah. It's in the Discord. It's like one of the. It's just like, this is the actual main blue post. I've never seen a blue post this large before, by the way. You asked this before, yeah, but I recognize your name every time you come to say hi. Hello. We talked a lot about Druid and stuff already. This one is very interesting. The Prot Pally changes are actually like a big thing to talk about, though. As a new Mistweaver monk, I'm fine losing Phelan. I hate the positioning of it and being forced to move out. That's true, Moondoggy. Still such a great name. I should name myself Moondoggy. Sorry. I don't know why I think that's so funny. It's just a Fury Sin Rogue. Exactly. Interesting. Sorry, if I miss your YouTube comment, always just come to Twitch. If I miss your YouTube comment, always just come to Twitch. All right. Hey, listen. It is a little late for me. I'm not normally used to streaming this late. But I really want to go over Prot Pally. Obviously, we know why people are upset about Prot Pally. Because Yoda made a video, and this is his favorite tank. And he's upset about the changes to it. I kind of agree. Mostly positive. Let me finish my milk, and then we'll get into it. Okay. I should probably log in so that I can actually show you about the Prot Pally as well. Yeah, let's do that. Because I got a Pally. And I can have just enough time to fix her transmog before I actually record this, because you can't see her. The blue post, are you in my Discord, by the way? Just come to Discord. It's right here. And if I link it for you, I'm a little scared because... Wait, can you access Wowhead in Cambodia? It's banned in Thailand. Wowhead is completely banned in Thailand. You can't access Wowhead in Thailand. I have to use a VPN to open it. And then I have to keep it open and not edit that browser whatsoever so that I can turn off my VPN, start stream, and have it open for stream. Cool? Okay, my prop pally is not exactly geared this season, but let's go over to some training dummies, fix my transmog, and we'll go from there. You know what I realized? Today is Friday. You want to know how little I've... Oh, we just moved. You know how little I've played this week? I'm pretty sure I haven't checked my vault. All right, let's check vault first. Rare Friday vault opening. Weapon or shield? Weapon or shield? Weapon or shield? There's one vault slot. There's only one. 3, 2, 1. Man, that's the 4th mythic chess piece I've gotten. I already have it, with respect. That's the 4th. My pally has gotten 4 mythic chess pieces. That's fine. But we don't need this for any reason, so we'll take 2 tokens. Unfortunate. Yeah, why? I get 4. That's okay. It's 1 week wonder. My pally's not actually going to get played this season. I'll just kind of have him for fun. Okay. Let's go over here real fast and just have them set up. Because I do think there's a fundamental problem with tanks getting changed the way they are. Which is that you still want the tanks to feel different. And the risk of prop pally and VDH is they might not. Okay. I am definitely getting tired. I just realized, so that's good. Let me get through the prop pally changes, and we'll zoom ahead. And I'll finish. I'll just have to read the rest tomorrow. I really thought I would read more of these. Okay. Here. Okay. So once again, I would very much like to clarify that I am heavily positive on almost all the changes I have read thus far. I think that simplification does not equal boring. Actually, that when something is simple, you can still really enjoy min-maxing it. And if you really want to think about this, I want you to think about current Beastmaster Hunter or even current Ret Pally as we talk about Pallies. Their rotation is very simple, but there's still a massive ceiling and floor where a good BM Hunter in your key currently will top the meters by millions of DPS, and a bad one, not so much. The problem is that with tanking, the complexity doesn't necessarily come from a rotation, and that's where we're going to get into prop pally right now. So prop pally, I'm a little worried, okay? There are some issues that I see potentially with this. Obviously, one of the gigantic W's, we'll start with the positive note here, is this consecration change. I mean, we've only been asking for this for forever, but basically, I do love my prop pally. Part of the skill expression of prop pally, because we're just going to jump right to it. Look, all these things are cool. Listen, this is the actual problem. It's this single talent that really will reduce prop pally to something that it might not want to be. I know there's all this other stuff. This is the only thing that should matter to you. And I'm going to go into my game right now, and I'm going to show you why, okay? Prop pally has a unique identity in World of Warcraft. And its unique identity is that it is the tank that scales with CDR. Like, you get CDR on every ability. It looks like Guardian of the Ancient Kings is a X amount of cooldown, which my camera is covering my tooltip because I was reading the article. It looks like it's a big cooldown, but it actually gets reduced by a lot. It looks like Ardent Defender is a 1.4 minute cooldown, but it is not a 1.4 minute cooldown. It looks like your Wings is a 2 minute cooldown, but it's not, because you're consistently getting CDR on everything, including bubble, including everything that you do. The reason that that exists is because in the talent tree, which I would love to show you, I just realized my camera's covering it, but you should know at this point that in the talent tree, Righteous Protector and Resolute Defender give that CDR. Now, when they wanted to nerf prop pally, I'm going to move my camera because it's actually important. All right, listen. When they wanted to nerf prop pally going from Season 1 to Season 2, the main nerf that they did was to the CDR. This is how they decided to nerf Prot Pally. There was a very small base mastery change and some base tankiness, right? And ignore my build, my Prot Pally is, I'm not really playing him on live right now. But basically, what you need to know is that they removed some of this here. This is not the important thing. All I want you to think about is this. These two talents are what make Prot Pally interesting. They literally are. It's actually not the rotation. It's not min-maxing your consecrate uptime, because right now, all of this is 100% anyways. You're going to have 100% on your shield. Like, you should never drop this either way. The reason it's interesting is because knowing how to plan your CDR and your uptime on things like Ardent Defender, Wings, and Bubble and whatnot, that is what makes a good Prot Pally. All right. And the other thing that makes a really interesting Prot Pally is the kicks, obviously, with Divine Resonance being a really interesting min-max. A lot of people don't have a weak aura for it. I think a weak aura was really helpful. I used to manually count it before I actually got this weak aura to tell me when I was going to kick. And this is how you can get over 100 interrupts in a dungeon, by planning each one of these shields as an interrupt. There's a lot of different things about Prot Pally that make it a Prot Pally. And my concern is that these changes take away from that. That's actually my concern. I think it's absolutely fine to simplify the specs. Like, I don't think that's a problem, by the way. But I do think the spec needs to feel like a Prot Pally. And I worry that that's going to change, okay? All the explanation I've just given, allow me to explain it a little bit further. When you read these changes, what they've done is they've basically effectively taken out the CDR loop of Prot Pally, okay? Class identity has to remain intact. The consecrate change is actually just good, but basically, this is a base DR now, which means that it doesn't matter if Yoda is playing it, or if you're playing it, or if I'm playing it. We all get the same CDR. That is interesting, okay? And the fact that Resolute Defender, as I've mentioned, doesn't give CDR anymore. The problem I have with it is this. Prot Pally will still have enough defensives to deal with whatever they're going to design, because now every tank is basically the same. But this is my main issue with it. The block spell thing is in... what's different between Prot Pally and Prot Warrior? Aside from the fact that Prot Warrior is going to be better. I genuinely want to know. The thing about these changes is that without the CDR and the constant uptime on defensive usage, the only difference between a Prot Pally and a Prot Warrior is that a Prot Paladin is going to take slightly more melee damage, but have shield for kicks. And a Prot Warrior is going to have everything a Prot Warrior does, because we now have a fixed cooldown on Ardent. We don't have Eye of Tyr. You are going to have Wings, but Wings is going to be potentially less powerful unless there was some talk of whether or not the new thing is going to apply to Sentinel, actually, but that's beside the point. The only thing I'm wondering is, when you play Prot Paladin, you're going to have a shield, okay? You're going to have a shield, you can throw it at things for interrupts. But you basically now have Guardian of the Ancient Kings, which is shield wall, and then you're going to have Ardent Defender, which is a worse demoralizing roar, and then you're going to have... like, what's the difference? Like, Avatar and Wings are going to be pretty similar, except for the fact that you're squishier against melee. I don't know. There's some... they're going to have to figure out how to make tanks different when the fact that Guardian of Ancient Kings is literally just shield wall. And shield wall, by the way, is literally just SI as a Guardian Druid. So when they homogenize this, it still has to feel different. And I don't know if it will. So I'm not dooming, but I'm kind of curious if it will actually feel different to play Prot Paladin versus a Prot Warrior. These are the two tanks that can be compared against each other, because they're both block tanks. They're both plate, and now they're very similar. So that's my take on Prot Pally. I want to know... I don't think anyone is positive about this. Is there a Prot Pally that read this and was like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted, out of curiosity? Because I thought that about the Guardian Druid changes. Some Blood DKs thought that about the Blood DK changes. But Prot Pally and also VDH, which is a whole nother topic, I'm worried about how they're going to feel. And I think that these are the two that really jumped out to me. Does that make sense? Like what I was saying just now, does that make sense? Like, what is actually the difference? Like, actually, though. Oh, I started getting tired. That's good. If I'm actually gonna get tired and go to sleep on time, that'd be really good. I should actually. Maybe I'll just maybe be like a shorter. I didn't think I'd get tired this early. Great, I should stream more often late at night. I hope that made sense. Like Beyblades, from somebody who hasn't played it, did I explain that in a way that you could understand? From having not played Prot Pally or Prot Warrior? Who is even on at this time? I wonder who would be on at this time. I'm just letting the info wash over me, not gonna lie. Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely. No problem. No problem. Probably, basically said he's willing to try it out because no matter what, he is finally free and presenting on the. Yeah. So if you don't have Consecrate, though, wins. Like, do you know what I mean? I just think it's a little strange. You are literally going to be a plate tank who blocks things worse than a warrior, but have the same defensives that do the same thing, except worse. You know? I'm not so sure how I feel about the Prot Pally changes. You'll still have your utility as a Prot Paladin, and you'll still have kicks. But that's kind of it. Oh, yeah, I got tired. All right, bet. How long do you think Lara will be on for? Suggested collabs. Oh, shit, DeWilkes is on. Just raid DeWilkes. Easy. Well, so probably that's fine. That's okay. I got tired. I didn't expect to get tired this fast, but that's good. If I'm getting tired, I'm gonna go sleep. I'll be back tomorrow. I did not get through all of these. I will probably take that rant about Prot Paladin and make it a YouTube video, but maybe even tomorrow. I don't know. I got kind of tired. Oh well. Okay. Good night. I'll be back tomorrow a little bit late because I'm meeting the girlfriend's parents, which I am concerned about. We'll see how it goes. Okay, bye. I'll read. Oh, that's a 21. Holy. DeWilkes is doing a 21 streets. Is this even... I think this is live servers, too. I don't even think that's time trials. I think he's just doing a live server. Okay. Bye, YouTube. I think I'll post a